Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest for today's Coffee with Alumni session, Ms. Bhandiya, an alumni of Vishakhapatnam Institute of Technology, Pune, from the 2019 batch of Computer Engineering. Ma'am started her journey as an intern and steadily grew through multiple roles at Credit Suisse and now serves as an associate director at UBS. Her career reflects strong technical foundations, consistency, and continuous growth within the enterprise software and banking domain. Today, she joins us to share her journey from campus to corporate leadership and the lessons she learned along the way. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Dali Bhandiya. To honor our esteemed guest, I invite Dr. Vijay Mane sir, Dr. Pankaj Kunekar sir, to kindly come forward and present a token of appreciation to Ms. Dali Bhandiya. Ma'am, this is a small gesture of our respect and gratitude. Please welcome them with a round of applause. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
First of all, ma'am, welcome back to VIT. It's really wonderful to have you here with us today. How does it feel to come back on campus after so many years?
Okay, I think before we start, right, so it's a very informal session, okay? You're all teachers and deans have moved out. So let's keep it very informal, okay? You can ask me anything at the end, okay? So that's one disclaimer, kind of. And now to answer you, I think it's a mixed feeling, you know. It's kind of nostalgia visiting this campus, as well as, you know, it's a sense of gratitude, you know, coming back here. If I see back the years, the foundation that was built here literally feels now is supporting me in what I do today at UBS, okay? Believe me, you'll not feel it today. You might feel, you know, all this is something why we are doing and all this thing, right? And when you move to your corporate life, right, this is something you will always go back and, you know, have a gratitude for, you know, that whatever is being done now is really very important for you and it's being done for you, okay? Nothing is being done for the sake of teachers or the sake of college. It's basically you for whom all this is being done, whether it might be your extra classes, your actual classes, or your seminars, or it can be your, you know, lab sessions, anything. It's all completely focused on you. So yeah, it's a mixed feeling actually.
Ma'am, when you walk through the campus today, is there any kind of memory that comes back to your mind instantly?
So if I say, right, there are a lot of memories. So when I walk into campus today, right, so I'm literally seeing ghost versions of myself, you know, just standing out of some lab sessions or, you know, just waiting for your midterm exams or your midterm external examinations for your projects actually, or maybe just standing at the boat club, you know, waiting for your friends, or it can be, you know, some events during Vishwakarandak. Okay, so I am literally seeing me, basically running everywhere, a ghost version of me, where I am, actually. So it's again, it's a really good feeling to come back to the campus. Though there's a difference during, when I was studying here, it was all blue buildings. Now it's all green buildings. It gives you a lot of sunlight now, Literally, we had those blue buildings. So that's the only difference. But rest, everything remains the same, So it's really a good feeling to come back to the campus.
Ma'am, you had a very strong academic journey here in VIT itself, and you also got early recognition for the same. So, yeah, looking back, how much do you think that discipline and consistency in college helped you in the corporate world?
So see, I'll tell you one very simple thing, when you're in college, right, all this feels, as a pressure, that why so much of discipline, right? Now we're college going students, we are not in school, right? This is a very common thought you have, right? But when you're in corporate, right, there is no escape from it, okay? You are in corporate, you are not meant to do something that goes wrong, or there is something. So in college it's very easy, right? You don't want to attend a class, you bunk a class, okay? In office you cannot do that, okay? In office it's something that is unsaid, okay? But you cannot do all this. So this all comes through your consistency, through your discipline that you maintain over the years, right? You cannot have it, okay, in my college days I've enjoyed a lot, and now it's the time, okay, in my corporate world I will be, serious about it. So this is a phase basically, see, right? When you're in school, you feel that, okay, in college I need to be very stricter, because that is something deciding my career, okay? When you come to college, you feel, no, I'll take this also easily. Corporate life anyways has to be hard, right? You cannot do all these things here. But if you're not consistent in all this, believe me, it's really going to be very difficult in corporate life. Going to office 9 to 6 at the day one itself becomes, hectic for you if you're not consistent, okay? So you need to be consistent a lot from your starting. I don't say that you don't enjoy it, okay? You enjoy, at the same time find that balance, how you're going to do it. Because in college, it's college and your extracurricular activities. In office, it actually comes down to professional and personal life, How are you going to manage it? You both are at the same time important. You will have to manage it. So I think, so consistency is the key.
Ma'am, are there any habits or small practices that you still carry over from your college time into the corporate world?
Okay, so the first and the most important thing I feel is the punctuality. So punctuality is the key, okay? In college, we usually tend to do this, okay? The first lecture starts at 8. Let's come in at 8:10, 8:15, it's all good. College accepts it for a few days, Later you will be, there also, you will be pressurized, why are you late? Sometimes your teacher will tell you stand outside, right? The very next day you'll still do the same thing, right? Because it's college, eventually they will accept you, right? In corporate, though we have become very flexible nowadays, that it's not about 9 to 6 job, but it's more flexible with the all work from home arrangements and all. But when you say flexibility, the flexibility doesn't mean you're also going to work 9 hours daily, right? It's going to be sometimes 10 hours, sometimes it's going to be 4 hours of work also, right? So the first thing is you have to be punctual, right? Because something goes wrong in your corporate world, something breaks and it's very critical, you cannot procrastinate it, okay? You will have to fix it. You will have to do it the very same day, whatever time it takes. So the punctuality and procrastination are the two things, because I still feel, I know this is a very common quote, right? Time is money. It is actually, time is really a money. So the more punctual you are, the less procrastinating you are to your tasks. That really helps you, to grow. I think it's not only about your corporate, it's about your entire life, I think. So yeah, this is the most important thing that I think that I carry even now from my school days, from my college days, to my corporate day, and that really helps a lot. So yeah.
Ma'am, continuing into the corporate world, You stepped in as an intern and gradually grew within the same ecosystem. What helped you convert that opportunity into a long-term career?
Okay, so when I started interning, it was my first corporate experience. Okay, so the first day I stepped into my office, it's all glamorous. It feels, oh my god, a very good office setup. Okay, as and when you grow, right, now these things will become now your regular life, right? So you don't have any craze for it any longer now. Okay, now the actual work life that starts, right, the work you start going into, right, what helped me grow in this same ecosystem is, so though I am in the same organization or kind of uh, same organization, but I never stopped at a single project. I always, whenever I felt that, okay, now this project is in my comfort zone, I tried stepping out of that project. The reason being is, we usually tell, right? So if you put a frog into the well, he will learn, okay, this is my environment, right? And if you put the same frog in the sea, he will never be able to survive there, right? The reason being because he has made his, the world that, oh, okay, well is the only world. There can be nothing more bigger than that, right? So you never become comfortable in all these things, right? So as and when, if you're getting the opportunities, I think you should step out. It can be now that stepping out can be out of your organization, or it can be out of your basically the same firm, different teams. The only thing is you have to get out of your comfort zone. Don't get too much into your comfort zone that later, when you actually need a change, it becomes really difficult for you. So I think that's the point that I have always kept on, moving out of projects, moving into technologies. So that helped me actually stay in the same organization.
Ma'am, so what would you say was the biggest mindset shift that you experienced from going from college to the corporate world?
Okay, so mindset shift, right? So when you're in college, right? So everything that you worked on to is, right, made up data, right? If I come to data, right? So every project that you work on to is some data set that is available. So it's kind of a made up data, right? When you go into corporates, it's actually the real time data you're dealing with, right? And that's the biggest mindset shift that you need to accept, right? Today your code works with 100 examples. Your corporate is going to have 2 million records. 100 examples, it's really easy to figure out what went wrong, what are the edge cases you missed on, okay? When I say about 2 million records, it's literally impossible for a human to spot it out what is going wrong and all, right? So that's the biggest mindset shift you need to have. Okay, whatever you have worked on, that was something you have. I'm not denying that project couldn't work for the real-time data. It could. But then there is a lot of things, it's not only the data, it comes to so many things. It's a performance issues. It can be, whether this will work the entire day. So many things, right? So you have to be very clear. Now you're actually working on some real-time things. So that mindset has to be changed, and accepted in your very early days of corporate world. So I think, yeah.
So, what would you say was the biggest corporate shock that you experienced in your first month of work?
Okay, so I think it's about the biggest corporate shock is perfection versus the time. So very simple thing, right? So I think you guys nowadays write papers, right, for your projects, correct? So here you are given some time, right? 1 month, 10 days, 20 days, whatever it is, right? And you are told that it has to be a perfect paper, right? In corporate, there is nothing like this, okay? People will come to you with literal deadlines, okay, you have worked on this, so you know it. Give me this documentation in 2 days. So the thing is, there you of course don't focus on perfection more. It's more about time. It's more about how you can make things concise, precise, easily understandable people. That doesn't mean it doesn't have to be. So what I mean is, it doesn't have to be perfect. It is something that should actually help. Perfection is something you can focus on later, right? But at the moment, you will have to work on speed rather rather than perfection. So that speed versus perfection time is the biggest corporate shock, at least I felt so, And believe me, documenting things is very important. That will help you as well as the peers that you're working with, So if, just let me give an example, right? Say if I give you some project that's existing since 20 years, I tell you, okay, make this change. I need this change. If there is no documentation, it's very hard for you to go and see where you have to make projects, right? And corporate projects are literally very heavy, okay? It's not easy as, okay, 5 files returned. It's literally different components, thousands of lines of code return, and you don't even know return by whom. Maybe people might have left organization. So until you have that proper documentation, right? So it's all in your head, right? So the very important thing is you literally have to learn that, here we are focusing on perfection, but at the same time you need to focus on speed also, right? How good and at what speed you can do all these things. So I think that was the biggest corporate shock for me when I entered this corporate world.
Ma'am, talking about your career, you progressed from an analyst to an associate director in a few years. What skills truly accelerated that growth for you, both technical and non-technical?
Okay, so see, whenever you enter the corporate world, you start with some skill, right? So I'll tell you, in college I've learned a lot of languages, okay? It might not be mandatory that you'll start with all of the languages at the start. I will tell you, I started as a C# developer. When I started as C# developer, C# was actually, out of trend, people were focusing on Java, right, at that moment. So I literally felt bad, why am I working as C# developer? I'll have to go and talk to my manager, why am I working as C# developer? But in the early, your early careers, right, you actually feel, whether I should talk or not, So I, held myself, for a few months, let's see. But C# told me a lot of things, so it's more of a logical thinking that gave me, right? Eventually I became a Java developer, then currently I'm working with Databricks, Azure Databricks, okay? So technology is something that doesn't stop. Technology is something that is going to change for years. Now we have AI, right, in place. So it's really easy for you to learn out technologies, right? With technology, things will help. Now, the part that you need to focus on is the logical thinking, How are you going to write down things? Whether you are going to articulate things in a proper manner, that is what is going to help you a lot. And that is basically improves you on your journey, from as an intern where you start to. And the most important thing is about asking questions. Never hesitate asking questions at any moment, I would say the most silly question is to ask no question, okay? At any moment, let people feel whatever it is, whether your question is up to the mark, whatever forum it is into, right? You need to know the answers because that will help you. Me just telling, that, okay, I know this is not going to help you at any moment. Be true to yourself. Be true to your peers. Okay, I don't know this and I need an answer to this. I need a support to this. So never hesitate to ask those questions that support. So that will really help you to grow in your career, to grow you as an individual, wherever you go. So I think that's the mantra that has been for me, that be open, don't stick yourself, and again, don't be in your comfort zone. Get out of it. You will always learn something or the else, believe me. It's not that, when I was working as C# developer, right, I felt so, this is a very old technology, what will I learn out of it, right? But literally in banking, the systems are very old, so that will help you knowing those languages also. So there is always a positive side to anything. So focus on positive side rather than, always seeing the negative side or something. A human brain is, always, we see the negative sides very quickly. Okay, this is not working for me. What should I do? Should I switch? Should I do this? So many thoughts. Think what is that one positive thing that is helping you stay here. And that will really help you grow in your career, So I think, that's the key.
So extending on this, what is the difference being technically strong and actually promotion ready in the corporate world?
Okay, so being technically strong, so I'll tell you again, just the last statement I spoke about, right? So with the AI, it's very easy to help you write your code or anything in the new technology, or help you if something is not figuring out, okay? When you say being promotion ready, so I'll tell you soft skills are the new hard skills, okay? The way you're putting things, the way you're collaborating with people, the way you're able to present yourself in front of many other people, that is the key. You know, technical skills is the only baseline, you know, it's a very common baseline now. Now, the focus is shifting on these all skills, you know. So you literally have to work on all these skills, and these are the skills you will not learn from any notebook, any book, any videos, okay? You just can get an information about this, but this has to be literally practically implemented. It is something you gain out of environment around. So a very simple example, right? When I speak about collaboration, right? So you're given a good chance of your projects, right, where you're supposed to collaborate with your, college mates. But I have, even I've seen that, nowadays, not nowadays, I think it was since the past. Someone is doing, so when you are given a project, someone takes the responsibility of PPT making, someone takes the responsibility, I'll do this part, I'll do that part. That is not how it works. Collaboration is very important, Everyone has to work collaboratively. That doesn't mean you don't divide your work. Of course, you divide your work, but everyone has the knowledge of everything else, that is being worked upon. Okay, because in corporate world, you cannot tell I don't know this because this was the person working on it. Okay, you don't know in and out of it, but at least you need to have a glimpse of it. So collaboration is very important, and you are given that opportunities here in college itself, to have those skills. We just don't focus, on having, getting something out of it. We more or less focus on the end goal. The end goal is to get, the project done. That is not the case, So you need to understand what are the skills that you need to get out of it. See, if your college is focused on providing you that, right? Otherwise, they could have provided you individual projects, right? That was very simpler for them also, right? Isn't it? Why you're paired up in groups? There is something, some skill you learn out of it, right? So I would suggest you need to learn these skills apart from your, technical skills to grow in your career. Yeah, so that's it.
Ma'am, so when you look at candidates today, what would you say truly makes a candidate stand out in interviews?
Okay, so standing out in an interview, right? So I would say you should first have a mindset. The common mindset that candidates have is the interviewer is sitting to reject me. Okay, he's trying to sort the people out. But interviewer is not sitting to reject you, the interviewer is sitting to accept you, okay? Think on, there are 10 people, the interview has to choose 5 people out of it. It's not working the other way around that, he's sitting to move out 5 people. So always have that positive mindset within you, that the interview is there, so how do I prove something? How do I sell myself, to that interviewer? Okay, how am I good in this? Also, one more thing is, certain times when in interviews we are asked some questions, we don't know answers to that, right? So it's all good, it's fine. But don't just simply tell, that I don't know this. Tell it I don't know this, but I know this. So give interview that open road for him to ask his next questions. So assume if an interview asks you question 1, you don't know an answer to that. He doesn't even know what to ask you the next question, because probably you might fall in a trap where you don't know even the domain for second question. So play very smartly. Tell him in the first question itself, what do you know? So that he is mentally ready, okay, that person knows at least this, so I can move my interview towards that particular path. So always make sure what things you're good at. Introspect yourselves, what are you good at? Do that SWOT analysis, so that you make your interview turn into a positive side, rather than taking it on the negative side, because if you are on the other side of table and tell me someone is sitting in front of you, you don't literally, that's a complete black box for that interviewer, right? What does that person know, correct? So you have to make your own way, because I'll tell you, when you're fresh out of college, you will write all these skills you have learned, literally you know it or don't know it. I'll tell you, during my college days, there was some Microsoft certified certification. Sorry, that was in our fourth year we had it. 80% of students have opted for that certification. Everyone passed out. When we went into an interview, the HR literally came and asked us, the certification is written in 80% of your resumes, but do you still know what is the outcome of that? So something that you don't know, you literally go and tell, okay, this is something I don't know, if your interviewers are asking questions about that, and pave a path for them to actually make that interview healthy, and that is something they are ready to accept you for. So I think that is something you should always take care for, that mindset, that I need to be chosen rather than I need to be rejected. So always have that positive outlook to it, so that helps you.
Ma'am, so the next was, this is a dilemma many of our students face. Should students go for higher studies or actually take up a job?
Okay, so I'll tell you, it's a personal choice, I leave it, but the point is, if you really are inclined, so the higher studies are more or less focus on a specific, technology, or it can be a specific set, so you are narrowing down your paths, right, your career paths. So if you're very sure, this is what you're looking after, when you see yourself 10 years down the line, you see yourself only into that domain, that is something that is interesting you, I would suggest you go for higher studies, okay? But you feel you're very open to trying out new things, because when you're out of college, as I mentioned, right, you have perspectives to a lot of things, right? A lot of technologies, a lot of other things. So if you feel you want to still try out things and you want to learn on your career path, then that is something you don't go for higher studies. But if you feel there is something that you really want to do it, and that is where you see yourself growing up, then I think you can always try for higher studies.
Ma'am, if you could guide your final year self again, what are the 3 main things that you would do differently?
3 things, to come down to those 3 things. So the first thing is, I think, a very simple thing, right? Because I spoke about real world data and all this, right? So I would suggest, there are so many open source projects, in the market. You should always try contributing to that, Though may you not end up, being successful in that, but you learn a lot of things, right? Because in open source projects, everyone contributes to that project, whoever is working on that project. So you literally get a lot of things out of it, that how do people work. So maybe a same set of code, both of you are writing, someone might have written better than you, or you might have written something better than you, someone else, right? So that helps you. The second thing is collaboration, that helps you. So many things, try to find out those open source opportunities, they are literally, it's very easy nowadays to just Google it out and you'll get it. So that is the first thing. Second thing is, I think, focus on your soft skills, because that is where the market is heading up now. That will really help you. And the third thing is, focus on your thinking, how you're going to be adaptable to any environment you're into, right? Because in corporate life, you feel, okay, this is what I want to work onto. That is not always going to be true. And I literally tell you, it's going to be more than 50% of the times you will not do what you want to do. Because that is how your corporate life is nowadays, Because technology changing at a very fast pace. So it's not feasible for the firms also, to hire, people for every technology, right? So be more adaptable, so change your that mindset. Second is focused on your soft skills, and third is try looking out for these open source projects. So I think if I would have been, back to my final year, I think I would have focused on these things more.
So ma'am, lastly, if students could remember just one message from today's conversation, what would you want that message to be?
So I think don't make anything as your comfort zone. So APJ Abdul Kalam has told a very beautiful quote, that when it rains, every bird finds a shelter, but it's only eagle, that flies above the clouds to avoid the rains. So very simple thing out of it is, be that eagle. Don't, whenever you're into troubles, don't just go and find out your comfort zone, right? Try to be that eagle. Go above your, above your capabilities, and that is where you will grow a lot. If you're put under pressure, so all of us know, right? Diamond, when put, basically diamond is derived out of the pressure, right? So you will see your true self only when you're working under pressure, when you're working out of your comfort zone, right? So truly get out of your comfort zone. And one more thing, I'll tell you, never stop asking questions. The first thing I told you, sir, whether it's college, whether it's corporate life, always be open to ask questions. Don't hesitate what others might think, about you. Let others think. Whatever others think is going to be with them, not with you. Don't get impacted by that. Be always open to it. The more you ask questions, the more you learn about things. Okay. So I think, yeah, that's the message I want to pass it down.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'll hand over the stage to you so that the students can ask you questions.
Yeah, sure.